Why you do that?
Why
are you
so
sassy?
written on the back?
Because I took a lot of work to get my notes together for this one, so there's notes
And not mail them
everywhere.
off?
And look.
I didn't mail them out this
Good.
week.
And she's saving the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mind.
Shh.
I mean, yeah, 'cause it's in my car, so nothing happened. Hello and welcome. We are the Ladies of Strange. I'm Ashley.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Rebecca.
Thank you for joining us each week as we discuss
The history, mystery, and theory.
Of all things questionable, odd, and eerie.
Happy New Year!
Not yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love.
The
It's
27th.
The 27th.
It's when we start saying Happy New Year.
It's after Christmas.
And all
It's
those
not
really
the
funny
New
people
Year.
start saying, see you next year.
I wasn't going to say that at the end of this episode.
Oh, sorry. Ruined it. Sorry.
Let me just mark that note out right here.
Rebecca.
You notice what I didn't want you to read on the back?
Rebecca, I am so shocked that you like me and Ashley because a lot of the things you hate in life we embody.
It's called balance. I'm a Gemini and I need it.
You're a very patient Gemini.
Very patient.
That's
'Cause
not true.
I am also a Gemini, and I don't
You don't patient?
very well.
What are patient?
I'm putting all of that into my child, and the rest of the world, I'm like, can't do it. Sorry, patience meter is full with a toddler. With a 3-year-old, oh no, by the time this comes out, he'll be 3.
Yes, he will, honey. That's scary.
Do we need a moment of
And
silence for you to chug?
No.
You say moment of silence and I bonk everything there is to bonk.
I'm supportive for you. Ching, 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 ching. No,
friend
it's
of the
just,
year.
every year is going to be hard.
It is. It is. And I feel like it was just yesterday. I was getting a text from your husband going, I forgot to text you. Ashley had him.
Sounds about right.
I guarantee you, I wasn't even around at that time, and Tiffany just knew.
Well,
Did you not just know?
Okay, so he was born on Christmas morning, and I was at my in-laws' house, and I have no service there. And I knew she was in the hospital, but I had to be up there for Christmas. And it was like, call or text as soon as it happens. You know, just let me know, keep me informed. And I remember waking up at 3 a.m., rolling over and looking at my phone like, there's got to be something going on. And then I wake up the next morning, and James is like, forgot to text you, she had him. I'm like,
No, she said she rolled over and looked at her phone at 3 a.m. He was born at 2:52.
Oh, that's creepy.
best friends.
So, yeah, she knew. She just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a
Cool.
weird connection like that.
But I feel like that was yesterday.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, let's send GIFs of hot guys until the other one responds.
I'm totally okay with that.
Yes.
It usually
Fair.
works.
Valid.
Don't stop with the sexy gifs.
Do not.
We need to come up with like a term for that.
Except for I call it gifts, so just FYI. Every time you guys say gifs, I'm like, twitch. But I make you twitch all the time,
You're
so
one
it's
of
fine.
those people.
I am one of those.
I just kind of go back and forth. She said gif, so I said gif.
Gifter.
Oh, you're
With a
sending
big
us
shiny
gifts.
bow. That we have to slowly peel away.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Poisons.
I could tell by Rebecca's face that she needed to go there. Tiffany, would you like to kick us off this week?
So I feel like I should kick things off, but I also feel like I'm going to have the peppiest of the poisons this week.
Probably, yeah.
So do you want me to kick it off, or do you want like a palate cleanser?
I'll kick it off.
Okay.
Panic attacks are back, Jack!
Yay!
Huzzah. Yeah. Yesterday I had my first panic attack in about 4 months.
Yay!
It was great.
They're always
They're
so
so
great.
bad.
So, and it was the first one I had at my new job, and I was technically by myself. I was at work, but in the past, I worked with my best friend.
Uh-huh.
So if it happened
Rebecca.
at work, I don't think I had one while I had some episodes, but I didn't have like a full-blown,
Panic attack.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I had a couple episodes while we worked together that both of you helped me through. But anyway, so I had to leave work, and I called Tiffany, and she talked me down, and I don't know where it came from or what brought it on, but they're back.
Yay.
So just in time for the holidays.
Did you tell him he wasn't invited?
Panic attack, Jack?
Mm-hmm.
I tried, but that just makes him even more upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's passive aggressive like that.
Extremely.
Yeah.
So it was good times, and hopefully it's just like one more for the year. Let's just cap it off, and maybe they'll go away for another like 4-6 months. Year,
That'd be
2,
sweet.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ever.
Lots of years, ever, forever. Maybe that was just his send off.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wouldn't it?
And this one, everything was cool. I didn't have anything that was like super stressful. I was just working and doing my thing, and then my heart started to race, and I started to feel all flush and felt my anxiety, and I was like, I gotta go. And then got in my car, and by the time I got to my car, it was like full blown. So it was super fantastic. But like I said, I called Tiffany. She helped me through it, the main of it, and then I put on some angry music and got home and hung out with my bug, and I was good.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, but yeah, huzzah!
I hate those so much.
They're so not fun.
It's like, speaking of anxiety,
Hey, what's your poison, Rebecca?
okay, there's 2 times a year I tend to have an existential crisis. It's when I realize I'm 1 year older. I mean, even when I was 12, I did this. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God, I turned 13.
Oh.
Why am I older?
What does it mean?
Life is fleeting. Everything's short. It means nothing. And then now that I'm older, it's, oh my God, it's 2019. Life is short.
Everything's fleeting.
Everything's fleeting.
I have to do my taxes.
I don't. Oh, fudge. Thanks, Ashley.
Sorry.
Hey, Jack, welcome. How's it going? Misery loves company.
Yeah,
Yes.
like even if I'm having a good year and a good Christmas, like without fail, I'm just like, oh my God, it's another year. I have to change the way I write it. I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on this year. What am I doing with my life? Am I saving enough? Can I retire? What's going on? Should I invest in things? I should invest in things. I wonder what
What's the stock market doing?
what is that doing? I wonder if internet currency is still a thing. Is
What
that
are
still a thing?
stocks?
Are we still Bitcoining? Oh my God.
Am I too old to Bitcoin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
So, that's cool.
Yeah.
Welcome to adulthood with anxiety.
It's like one of those subclauses that you didn't read when you signed the papers of, I'm an adult now.
Time out. I never signed those papers.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
I got like Ursula in that bitch where I was like holding the pen, reading the contract, and then it just flew out of my hand and
someone's
signed my
singing,
name.
And there's 2 like sidekicks staring you down, and
Yeah.
everything's glowing for some reason, and
Yeah.
then you can't speak.
Precisely. And all of a sudden I have no voice, and I got married and got my sea legs back. I don't know where I was going with that.
Do we need to pause for a second?
No.
Is everything okay? Clap
Everything's
twice if you're
fine.
fine. Okay.
That was not an edit point, Rebecca. Just keep rolling.
I actually listened to the episode as I edit.
All right, Tiffany. So now that we've had our crises on microphone,
So mine was
pep us up.
mine was gonna be peppy, but now I'm starting to get like flush and anxious and
Big shiny bow.
big shiny bow. All right, so my poison this week is I am still riding the high life of like getting past one big obstacle and realizing that it's not as scary as I thought it was going to be, and I'm feeling really good.
Yay.
Yes, and like other things are starting, you know how sometimes when you're feeling really bad, everything looks bleak?
Yup.
And there are
Did you listen to our poisons?
and there are other times where everything is going well and it's like you feel like Lady Luck is
I'm walking on sunshine.
Yeah.
Whoa.
and Lady Luck is my mistress and like things are going well. I'm riding that high and I feel like I've taken some of y'all's joy, so I'm gonna like share it back.
You keep your joy, boo. You've gone through your crisis already for the end
No,
of 2018.
Oh look, we're finishing out the year making sure everybody has their crisis.
Oh, how
friendship
sweet.
goals.
Get out of here, Jack. Crisis has been had. You can go now.
The end.
So yeah, there we go. Woo 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 woo.
Ta-da.
So what are we learning about today?
It's gonna be real light,
Real lighthearted.
real fluffy.
Oh, good. Are we
Real-
learning about rainbows?
Of course.
yes.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought that was your topic. We were allowed to take rainbows?
No. I will cut you.
Did you see? You just took away her happy.
Do you want another existential crisis? Because I can bring one on.
Whoa.
That, okay.
This is Tiffany when she's happy, guys.
When I get dark, I get real dark.
She happies murders you.
Happy's murders.
Why did you take my rainbows?
Richard G. Simmons.
Oh, gracious.
So,
Okay.
what are we learning about in your notes that I did not read?
Did you read it?
No.
I tried to write it really messy so that it would be hard to read if anyone saw it.
And then I was immediately, now turn it the other way. I can't read it. I promise.
Okay, good. So part of my anxiety this week was getting my notes together.
I'm sorry.
So this is something that I really wanted to cover, and it was just one of those topics, so it was just hard to get together, but I think I did it. Y'all can tell me in like 45 minutes when we're done. Okay?
Sweet.
Okay.
Yes.
Sweet.
You guys know I went to New Orleans for Thanksgiving this year.
Yes, you did.
And while we were there, we were just kind of bebopping around the city, and I had printed off some information on like big sightseeing stops and acted as like a free tour guide for my family as we were walking
Which
around.
I'm sure they loved.
Half yes, half we're just like, oh my god.
So Bug liked it. Hagrid was not into it.
No, Hagrid liked it because I
good.
tried to like take into account who all was going to be there and stuff that like might interest everybody.
How many Disney songs did you sing?
Not important.
Thank you.
Not the point.
Not part of the tour, okay? But anyway, so we were bebopping around, and there was one place in particular that was on my notes because I printed off like a self-guided tour basically and went through, and I was like, La Laurie Mansion, duh. Cafe du Monde, duh. French Market, duh. And there's a couple on there that I didn't really know much about, and I was like, if we pass them and they look interesting, we'll stop. So we were following the map, and we come around this corner, and it was in this point of the tour that a lot of people's attitude shifted.
Oh.
Like toddler meltdown shifted or just shifted?
Toddler meltdown shifted, and it was close to lunchtime too, so it might have been some hangry thrown in there. But people got less interested in the tour. People were getting snippy. People weren't wanting to walk around anymore.
Yeah.
Tempers were getting shorter, etc., etc.
Typical family vacation.
Yeah.
At some
but
point.
For the most part, the group that we were with, like, we're pretty happy-go-lucky, easy, like, yeah, sure, whatever, let's go in here and eat, who cares? And I just happened to notice that this was as we were by the Gardette-Lepretre house.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Bravo.
Yes. That was the next stop on this tour.
Okay.
And that was one of the ones that I kind of skipped over because I'd never really heard of it. So now I'm going to tell you guys the story
Ooh.
of this house.
I feel like it's going to be very lighthearted and happy.
Absolutely.
Should I turn on the EMF reader?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
Lucky.
Hello. Oomph. How are you?
Thank you for joining us.
All right. So, in the French Quarter of New Orleans, Louisiana, only 2 blocks from the infamous Bourbon Street, sits an ordinary-looking home as far as the French Quarter standards go. A large building with pale pink walls and wrought iron lace details on the multiple balconies that to casual passerbys offers no clue as to the mystery and unsolved happenings in the building.
Intrigued.
Until, somebody who's sensitive to mysteries and unsolved happenings happens to walk by the house and we're like, let's go somewhere and grab lunch now.
Oh, wait, so you didn't go in?
No, we didn't really go into any of these places because it was the holiday and a bunch of places were closed.
Yeah.
And
It's a walking tour.
yeah, so we just kind of did like a little walking tour and I had like little paragraphs on each place.
Got it. Okay.
So, which when we go back down for CrimeCon, if y'all want to do another little walkthrough, I'm down.
We'll bring the oomph.
Yes!
We'll get wine for Tiffany.
You can walk around with open containers in New Orleans. So.
It's needed.
All right. The house was reportedly built in 1836 for Joseph, and I'm sorry for some of these names. They're like Cajun French, so mispronunciations might be off. All right. The house was reportedly built in 1836 for Joseph Coulton Gardette, a Philadelphia-born dentist. The home was painted its signature pink color but lacked the grandeur it has grown to be known for. Just 3 years after the construction, the house was sold to John Baptiste Lepretre, a wealthy plantation owner who purchased the home in 1839 and added the wraparound balconies, the courtyard, and the elaborate interior.
My kind of guy.
Lepretre used the home for entertaining, mostly during the fall and the winter when the opera was in town. And the rest of the year, he and his family lived in their large plantation home in the Plaquemines Parish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy. Shortly after the Civil War, his business began to fall on hard times, so Lepretre began to look for someone to purchase or rent the property. He was soon approached by a young Turkish man that said he had a renter lined up who was looking for a home that would be large enough for his client and all the men, women, and children that traveled with him, and he would be able to pay 2 years up front in cash.
Heck yes.
Coming to the end of his options, Lepretre accepted the offer and agreed to rent the home to the mysterious man. After the finances were sorted, the new owner started to move in.
Do tell.
I will.
Excited.
So is he still there as the new owners are moving in?
No.
Okay.
He has signed off on the house. His family's gone back to the plantation.
Gotcha.
Little was known about the man, as he kept mostly to himself. In turn, plenty of rumors began circulating about the new neighbor, including one where people believed that he was actually a Turkish sultan.
Ooh.
The first thing the neighbors noticed were the preparations prior to the new tenant moving in, as the home began to be transformed into what would be known as an Eastern pleasure palace.
My kind of guy.
Is that what you want your house eventually to be known as?
At the Eastern Pleasure Palace.
By Tiffany. There's giant bows.
There's giant bows.
Sparkly bows.
And grandeur and elaborate interiors. I could see it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a fence and gate were added. The windows were furnished with heavy draperies that didn't allow light in or out.
Oh.
The doors were always closed and locked.
Oh.
The balconies were permanently closed. A large padlock was added to the front gate. Large trucks would quickly be brought into the home, surrounded by armed men that could be frequently seen in the courtyards and monitoring all the doors.
He was selling drugs.
He's doing something.
It's a little suspicious.
Just a little bit, but you know.
If you're going to sell drugs, don't get a bright pink house.
It wasn't bright. It was like a pale pink.
It was a tasteful pink.
Right. Oh, I mean, it is the French
My
Quarter.
apologies.
So a pastel pink house really isn't the thing that, you know, jumps out at me a couple blocks over from Bourbon Street.
It's the giant padlock on
the gate that wasn't there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's rumored that the home was occupied by the Sultan and his harem that was complete with women of all ages and sizes, men and as well as young boys.
Oh.
That was harmonized, guys. I appreciate that. Some say he went as far as to kidnap women and torture them until they gave in to his pleasures.
No.
I don't like this anymore. I didn't like it beforehand, but now I don't like it at all.
I did until this stuff.
No one really left the home once they're inside. There were ongoing deliveries of luxurious food and supplies, along with rumors of drug use. The smell of hashish and opium would often waft through the streets.
I was trying to remember what the drug of choice was then. It was
Hashish
opium.
and opium.
I was right.
And wild parties would run all day and night. In the 2 years that the home was occupied by the Sultan and his harem, there was rarely a time when the neighbors couldn't hear sounds coming from the home.
Please tell me it was happy music.
Which lovingly began...
Yeah.
Is that a music example?
Yes. In the 2 years that the home was occupied by the Sultan and his harem, there was rarely a time when the neighbors couldn't hear sounds from the home, which came to be known as the Sultan's Palace.
Happy sounds?
Just music and people
Just
and
sounds.
constant goings-ons there.
Okay.
No matter what time of day, what day,
I would be
what...
so annoyed.
Behind the locked fence and the heavy drapes and the closed balconies.
and the armed guards.
Not suspicious at all.
Then, one night, there's a dreadful storm off the coast, which hits New Orleans with such force that everyone retreats into their homes. During this, a strange ship arrives in the harbor. No one is around to see the crew or question their business. They arrive silently and with a very clear destination in mind. All night, the storm is so violent that no one hears anything other than the thunder and rain. The next morning, a neighbor is taking a walk when she noticed the gate had been left open, and the house was the quietest it had been since the new neighbors had moved in. In fact, it was completely silent.
Second that.
Second, the uh-oh. As she approached the house, she noticed a weird stain at the bottom of the front door. The closer she got, the clearer it became that the weird stain was a large pool of blood that was streaming from under the door onto the steps and out onto the sidewalk.
That must be a lot of blood.
It's no big deal.
Responding to the women's screams of horror, the police rushed to the scene, and what they found was one of the most gruesome massacres they had ever seen.
What?
The front door, which was also unlocked, opened, and the officers were faced with a scene so gruesome and an overwhelming smell of death and blood so putrid that several of the officers were not able to even go into the home.
Well, that's no party. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I did not mean to sound so excited.
Woo! Massacre!
I am not fascinated by this stuff.
That is
not
the
at
sound
all.
of panic.
Okay. Tell me more.
The elaborately decorated home now more closely resembled a butcher shop than an exotic palace. Body parts and organs were strewn across the home.
Just place those anywhere. It's fine.
Each room of the mansion was thick with torn flesh, spatters of red, and dissected bodies, all of them which had been butchered by a sword or axe.
Wow.
The hardwoods were so slick with blood, it was hard to walk without slipping.
Ew.
Every man and woman were so horrifically dismembered, it was impossible to tell what parts belonged to which body. The only way they were able to figure out how many bodies were throughout the home was to do a literal head count.
Oh my goodness.
I should not be laughing.
Oh no, I got the giggles when I wrote those two.
Nervous laughter. It's fine. Holy cannolis.
Yes.
Is that where the term head count came from?
I don't know.
Probably not, but
I mean, it might be from like wars and stuff.
probably. That's awesome. That's great.
And they do tours of this place?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they cleaned up a little bit.
Not anymore, but we'll get there.
Okay.
Head count, literal head count, bodies, brutally murdered axe, butchers.
That was scary.
Sorry. I thought that went off for a second there.
No, continue. What?
Sorry. The horror didn't stop with murder. The beautiful harem girls, the Arab boys, and even the guards were raped and subjected to vile sexual
All of
assaults
them?
before being brutally murdered.
No.
All of them. By who? One
The bodies
person?
that they could still investigate. There were signs of sexual assault. But they can't prove if the sexual assault was done at the time of the murders or while living in the house.
I thought you said before or after. I was like, oh, God.
No, they couldn't tell if it was like part of the murder or if it was something that had been occurring in the home.
Got it. Yeah.
Trying to process the hellish scene that they had just witnessed, the police officers made their way to the courtyard where one of the officers spotted what he believed to be a glove. Upon closer inspection, they realized it was a hastily filled grave with a hand reaching out of it.
Oh, yay.
As they unearthed the body, they discovered the body was that of the young Turkish man the neighborhood had come to know as the Sultan.
Say what now?
The person buried in
owner.
the backyard was...
No, I think he's dead too?
Yes.
He didn't do this. Was he buried alive?
From the appearance of his body, the man suffered a hellish last few moments of life.
Oh, yay.
Appearing to have been badly beaten before he was buried. Further examinations found a sizable amount of earth in his mouth, throat, and lungs, suggesting that he had spent his last moments attempting to claw his way out of the thick New Orleans clay, and he was very much alive when he was buried.
Yay.
Well.
That's awesome. So awesome.
Well.
To this day, no one can say with certainty who the Sultan was or who killed him or why. Some New Orleanians suspected pirates or street criminals were behind the murder spree, and some believed that he wasn't a sultan at all, and that he was the Sultan's brother who had escaped to New Orleans after stealing the Sultan's wives, servants, and possessions. And it's believed that once the Sultan found out where his brother was hiding, he hired hitmen to kill his brother and anyone else who left his home without his permission.
I'm going to stick with that one. That's going to be my guess.
No one knows for sure what happened that night.
I already told you.
A bunch of people died.
Lots of people were brutally murdered.
All of them all at once? Or were there signs of this like accumulating over time? Do we not know? Okay.
Nope. Everything was normal until the storm. When everyone went inside, after the storm cleared, they came out and found the scene.
They found silence, blood leaking out of the house, everything unlocked. Yeah.
So it was over the course of a night when a bad storm was rolling through the town.
Cool.
All right. For years after the massacre, the mansion rapidly declined and was almost a slum dwelling because the owners did little to maintain the place.
Can you blame them?
Right.
Same. Oh.
It was rented out as apartments for a time during the great influx of Italian immigrants in the late 1800s.
But it didn't last long because the place was so haunted and everybody went out screaming, right? Oh, I like that. Sorry. Continue. Oh, I'm so excited.
Really? You're excited about this?
It's in New Orleans, not here. It's fine. Go.
We're going there in June.
Bite your tongue, woman. Just continue on with your story.
At this time, an Italian woman who lived there made a living washing clothes, which she would then hang out to dry off the top balcony. One day, she fell over the ironwork to the pavement below and was instantly killed.
Oh.
Some say she most likely leaned back too far while hanging the clothes, but other people who lived in the home started making claims of the feeling of being pushed while on the various balconies and believed that she too was pushed. In 1949, the building hosted the New Orleans Academy of Art for a brief time before most of the students were drafted. Many students had claims that strange sounds could often be heard there at night, like the soft piping of oriental flutes and the pad of footsteps on the stairs. People also claimed that they could see the faces of women in the windows, peering out of the windows from the upper floors. Screams, moans, and frantic running sounds were also commonly reported.
Yay.
By the 1950s, the house had been cleaned up a bit and was again used as an apartment building. It was divided into 9 units. Several were 2 stories. One of the tenants, known as Gypsy, rented the downstairs apartment. In her story, one day a man in garish oriental robes suddenly appeared in her apartment. She vividly recalled the incident. My 2-room apartment had only one door, which opened into the main hall only a few yards from the foot of the enormous central staircase that wound its way up to the floors above. I always kept it locked, and even if whoever it was had a key, I would have heard it turning in the lock. Yet there was nothing, only silence. One minute he was there, and the next he was gone. He didn't seem hostile. He just stood there and looked at me, but it was terribly eerie and nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
No.
She saw the man a second time a few days later. She woke up, and he was standing at the end of her bed.
Nope.
There was no sign of him when I turned on the lights and got up to check. I abandoned everything there the next day and went to stay with a friend until I could find another place to live.
There you go.
Smart woman.
A few days later, she and her friend went back to gather a few of her things, and she had her last and most terrifying experience.
No.
We were standing in the dimly lit hallway in the empty house. As I locked the door, we suddenly heard a blood-curdling scream come out of the blackness somewhere at the top of the staircase just a few feet from us. A long, shrill scream that ended in a horrible gurgle. We ran as if the devil himself were after us, out the street door. We laugh about it today, but it was pretty frightening at the moment. I never went back to get the rest of my things.
Hell no. Okay, can I just interject real quick?
Yes.
Whenever I hear stories of like ghosts in apartments or houses and people are like, oh, you know, it happened for a couple months and then we finally decided to leave. I'm like, what the hell? I like this girl because she booked it right away.
She had 2 visions, and she was like, I'm good. Bye, Felicia.
That's my girl.
Well, reportedly.
No, this girl. I like this girl. We'll keep her.
That's her story.
That's her story. We don't know. What I'm saying is we don't know if anything else happened. Like, there are weird noises. That's just the pushing. That was the pushing point.
Yeah. I mean, they did say that, you know, people have heard music. They've heard weird screechings. They've heard footsteps.
Yeah.
Up until this point. That's just one of the first, like, legit documented encounters in the home.
I like her.
In 1966, the house was purchased by Jean DeMaco and her husband, Jean. John. What are you looking at?
I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's... I'm not looking at anything.
Ooh, I've already read this page, so there's nothing to...
It's fine.
In 1966, the house was purchased by Jean D'Amico and her husband, Frank. The house was, again, still in bad shape and desperately needed repairs. They decided to restore the place and turn it into luxury apartments.
Whoa. Because that worked so well before.
Right? Have they not learned?
Jean recalled people would look a little curiously at us when they knew we were the owner. Some even told me how they used to cross the street and pass it on the other side.
Can you blame them?
She dismissed the stories as nothing more than supernatural gossip until she experienced something for herself. One night while trying to sleep, Jean sensed a presence in the room with her. She looked up and saw a man standing at the end of the bed. Thinking my eyes were playing tricks on me, I closed them for a moment and then opened them again to refocus, but the figure was still there, this time closer.
No.
When the form suddenly seemed to move towards my side of the bed, I panicked and turned on the light on my night table. Imagine my surprise when there was no one there.
Yay.
My literal nightmare.
Even today, the Sultan's angry spirit is thought to be responsible for unusual noises, loud music, and strong incense smells that flow throughout the home, as well as unwelcome advances on female visitors.
Nope. No, thank you.
Even today, the Sultan's Palace remains a curious and intriguing mystery of New Orleans and the French Quarter. We may never know the secrets this mansion still hides and what curious tales they might tell if only these walls could talk.
No.
And that's my story
Whoa, 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 whoa.
of my random, super strange sensation as walking through the streets of New Orleans.
That's really creepy that you experienced that before you knew what was going
I've
on.
never heard of that place before until that tour had the little blurb on it.
Creepy.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Oh, man.
And that's why I was going to try and do something holiday related. And I was like, I need to research this place.
Yes, you do.
Man, did you happen to take a picture of it?
I didn't because I had no idea what it was. Of course, you can find pictures and we will post photos on the blog and on the social medias.
Man.
The medias.
Wicked.
Yeah. So I want to go back.
Oh, man. And I like how everybody's mood shifted, not just you being the sensitive one.
And like I said, we did have a tired toddler and it was lunchtime. And there was a lot of other factors, but it was very strange that it was at that point in the tour. Like, we went to stop at a bar because we were like, well, we'll stop, we'll grab a drink, and then finish our walk until we get to where we want to eat. And my stepdad got a beer and, like, took a sip out of it, and he was like, oh, this is flat, and chucked it in a trash can. And we're like, we need to go find food right now.
That's
Oh, wow.
perfectly good beer, sir.
Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare you? That's alcohol abuse. So yeah, from that point on, we started making our way to food.
Fair.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
it was a very strange sensation, but I'm glad I now know why.
Oh, man. What I like most about that is that it's something that you experienced, kind of.
The fact that it wasn't me experiencing it.
Well, no, the fact that it's not like you went to New Orleans and you were like Googling haunted stories in New Orleans. You
just had a strange sensation. Yeah, it was really weird. And then I read through the little blip because, like I said, it was our next stop on this walkthrough tour. And as I was reading through it, as we were walking to go grab lunch, I was like, huh.
Cool.
Put that in the back pocket for later. And then started looking into it on our way home. And I was like, huh, cool.
That's a normal reaction.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
so
man.
I want to go back without my small child.
And with
Fair.
the oomph.
And with our oomph. And
you
you
know
guys.
what? Here's the deal. It's going to be a great time for you and Rebecca. I will be ordering you food at the restaurant down the street. So
And then-
let me
Well, I
know how
don't
it goes.
think
Eating it
it's
for us.
privately owned.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think that we can do like tours.
Okay.
Last I saw it sold, I think in 2013, and it's was owned up until the latest records I could find. And this place is very, very strange because you search it and it comes up like top 5 haunted places in New Orleans, top 10 places in the Southeast, haunted, 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 check out this place. But the stories and the information on it
Vague.
are very vague. Like, I had to go to the most places and sites and books and everything to gather what I got.
Nice.
Like, the story of the massacre and the murder is out there and it's pretty much consistent.
Yeah.
But the hauntings, for it to be listed as like this
Super
insanely haunted
haunted.
place where all of these people get feelings and detect things, there's not a whole lot of stories documented, which I thought was really strange.
Interesting.
It's because people
So-
get scared, really, really scared, and then run away and pretend it never happened.
So I kind of do want to do a tour or go meet with someone who is more familiar with the story and find out some more. So hopefully while we're there in June,
Woo, 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 woo.
I'm taking you on a ghost tour in New Orleans, Tiffany.
I know. I know.
We will get you severely
Intoxicated.
inebriated. How about this? I'm assuming Wine and Crime will be there. I'm assuming they'll do some sort of meetup.
That would be the shiznit.
I will pay for your ticket if you go on a ghost tour with me.
Done. Oh, why did I say that? Oh, my heart just sank.
Wow, you are easily persuaded.
Amanda has that effect on her.
My girlfriend's going to be there, so... Ow, my heart.
And let us take them. What?
That was not part of the deal.
It is now.
Shit. Crap. So
I know Rebecca's down. You did one with me here.
I know.
I mean, granted, where we went
I'm
isn't
sorry,
quite as haunted.
you did one close to home.
Yeah, but I don't...
New Orleans is technically close to home for her, too, because her family's from Louisiana.
True.
So you should be fine.
Should be. Oh, God, my
Will
heart.
be.
Will be.
And if not, you have 6 months to prepare, and I'll only talk about a handful more spooky stories between now and then.
Can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Then we'll go to a bar. There is a ghost tour bar crawl.
Okay, let's do that first.
Well, it's part of,
Okay.
like, as you're doing the tour, you stop at different bars.
All right, we're gonna have to stop at some bars beforehand too.
Well, I have a feeling if we're at CrimeCon, we probably will have,
A few day drinks.
I would imagine,
A couple.
Because
Cool.
why not?
wine, not.
So
Or
when
cider, not.
cider not, no, astronaut.
Juggernaut.
Anyway, so my honeymoon with the ruler was in Savannah.
Thank you
And-
for clarifying which honeymoon.
Absolutely. Well, as we've already discussed, he is my first husband, according to Rebecca. So,
True.
Didn't mean it that way.
but
Where'd you stay in Savannah?
we stayed in some like cheap motel, like a mile out from.
So not haunted. Got it.
No. Although one of the bed and breakfasts I wanted to stay into. Ashley,
I'm fine. It only hurt a little bit.
you scared me. I mean, I'm sorry you're hurt, but stop. The bed and breakfast I wanted to stay in, I found out afterwards, is super haunted. So I'm.
Where'd
glad
you
we
want to
didn't.
stay?
It was pretty. I'll pull up a picture.
In Savannah, all of them are pretty.
It had. I can see the picture of it. It had this really cute little front stoop and a flag hanging out. Anyway, I'll pull up a picture.
Not
Not
Southern
helpful.
architecture at all.
No.
That totally stands
Yeah.
out.
But anyway, we did a lot of like. I am big on doing the little tours. Like anytime there's a little placard saying this house is historical, I'm like, let's go look.
You do realize that's also a placard saying it's haunted.
Well,
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, because we did a couple house tours on it, and I felt kind of weird in some of them, and I just like powered through and got out of there and didn't think about it. But I wonder now, like if I were to go on some of the haunted or into some of the haunted places without knowing they're haunted
Yeah.
and just a regular tour, how I would feel. So yeah, cool beans. Maybe I've been in some haunted places.
I'm sure.
I mean,
you
I've
have.
stayed in a haunted place in Savannah.
Well, I mean, we went on a ghost tour,
True.
so you were.
And I hid like a baby
That
during
bottle
some of
has
them.
stuff in it.
Yeah, so
Let's drink the one that still has a drink in it.
oh, cheers. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Ow, sorry.
My goodness.
I'm gonna have to get one of those mats under my chair so I can
Yeah.
scoot this back a little bit.
They're expensive, but that doesn't have to be discussed right now.
Hey, yo, Patreon.
So you can find us on Patreon and get us mats so our rolly chairs roll. But yeah.
and you'll hear less cheers.
So, yeah, my story. Happy New Year.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Sweet.
whoa! Happy New Year.
Be safe. Don't party at any haunted Sultan palaces.
Unless you want to and know about it ahead of time, in which case, no more power to you.
I wonder if that would, like, pique him. Like, if people were having, like, a party, if that would,
Well,
like...
high energy places tend to have more activity.
Well, yeah, but then on top of that, like, that being his thing, like, drugs and parties and constant goings-ons.
Oh, maybe. But if it's a big party going on like that and like a real rager, would anybody even notice him?
Well, I mean, if you saw him, if people were seeing full apparitions, you could still potentially
I mean,
see
but
him.
if you're like super partying and kind of hammered and you
Well,
see it
maybe
and you're
then
like,
you really would see him even more.
So the real question is, Tiffany, how many ghosts haven't you noticed?
God, I wish we'd recorded that face. I think Tiffany just died a little. Oh no, you're making her cry.
I did a bad thing.
Oh no. All right, Rebecca, you're at a slumber party until the ruler gets home.
Sorry.
Oh
We have wine.
hi.
no. You just made her cry.
Let's not think about that. Sorry. how'd you end your 2018?
God.
Rebecca made me cry.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh boy.
Cheers. Well, that took a turn.
I am so sorry.
It's fine. I just got a little anxious.
And it started off so well. Everything's great, guys. It's fantastic. Let me end the episode in tears.
I'm the peppy one. Everything's so good. My life's so great.
Oh no, Rebecca,
Oh,
you broke her.
No, I'm laughing so hard my eyes are watering.
Oh no, Rebecca's crying
I
too.
don't cry.
It's an emotional year, guys. I'm not gonna cry again.
All right.
I think my tear ducts are dried out after my massive panic attack yesterday.
There you go.
So
on that
not
note,
getting tears out of me.
stay tuned for a nightcap.
Yes.
Yes.
That'll be after the music at the end.
Remember, friends, everyone has something that they find odd. Let us tell you why it's not.
If you have any questionable topics you'd like us to discuss, you can share them with us on any of our social medias. Links can be found on our website, theladiesestrange.com. Or you can email them to us at theladiesestrange@gmail.com.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. And if you think we're doing a great job and want to support the show, you can find us on Patreon. Keep it strange, lovelies.
We'll talk to you next year.
See you next year.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Rebecca's going to make us
We
cry.
love you. Happy New Year.
Woohoo.
Is there a New Year song? Can we sing a song?
For all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should
I don't know all the words, but I want to sing along.
Rebecca made Tiffany cry.
Not on purpose. Bye, guys.
I have to pee.
Hi, fuckers. I'm Jason Alme.
And I'm Christina Alme, and we're the hosts of Shit Happens When You Party Naked.
You should listen to our podcast if you like interviews with fascinating and insightful guests.
What recovery has done in my life, I shouldn't be alive right now, first off. So I'm already blessed just by my heart beating every day.
Or even silly and profane guests.
Remember that time I was 14 and I was sucking dick?
Or extreme profanity. I thought you were saying for a second. I was like, oh my God, your mom is right there. I was going to say in front of your mom. I mean, I know we've dropped the F-bomb in front of your mom a whole bunch, but we should not say the word in front of Joanne. Please, don't say in front of Joanne.
Or explicit tales of fuckery.
There's my buddy Chris standing in the aisle, pissing on the floor, pretending to be looking at an ironing board. Or shitty Samuel L. Jackson impressions.
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Say what again? I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time. Bro, you promised to stop making me do the Sam Jackson impression, you fucker.
Search for Shit Happens When You Party Naked on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, Podbean, SoundCloud, Overcast, Soundcast, Undercast, Sound Pocket, and Pocket Sound.
I double dare you, motherfucker.